Greetings.
Hello, my friend. Welcome to the channel. Today is October 17th, and our topic is the benefit of kindness. Seneca says, "A benefit should be kept like a buried treasure, only to be dug up in necessity. Nature bids us to do well by all. Wherever there is a human being, we have an opportunity for kindness."
Okay, so he's saying to be kind.
Yeah.
And even though he's saying kind of like that's only supposed to show up in like protected, right? There's something about like it's buried and it's protected.
Yeah.
But
I don't really get
like
the
don't
first
use it
one.
all the time or something.
Right, well, like a benefit should be kept like
Yeah.
a buried treasure,
Mhm.
only to be dug up in necessity.
In necessity, and then
Nature bids us to do well by all. Wherever there is a human being, we have an opportunity for kindness. I don't know, like there's a bunch of dots in the quote, which means that he kind of like patched this together.
So, but maybe that's kind of like what we're understanding from it. I think it's the right thing. Is burying it inside and having it like a treasure is that I have it available, right? Like I have it protected inside of me, the kindness, right? And then when I come across humans, I should use it with them, or something in those lines, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What is you have anything else on this? Yeah, the kindness thing is tricky. I was thinking about something that Gabor Mate said about like the most stressful people are the kind people or something like that, you know, or whoever was saying that, it doesn't matter. But
He was saying they were nice, and he was like, "There's niceness that comes from like genuine compassion," and I think that that's what these guys are talking about.
Yes,
but then
yes.
there's niceness that comes from being disconnected from your needs.
Yeah, and then so there are. I want to clarify those two nicenesses so we know what we're talking about, right? Because there is this kind of like I had trauma, and the way I was able to deal with it is by being overly nice or cannot say no to people, let's say, right? And so that niceness is kind of like that's not the niceness that we're talking about, because the niceness that we're talking about would include us as well, right? So if I cannot say no, or if I cannot if I always have to be acting nice, then when am I good to myself, right? So the niceness is like we are taken care of. We have our boundaries. Our boundaries are protected. We are good to go, and now I can be kind to others.
Yeah.
But first, it has to be applied to ourselves, and then it can be starting to be facing outwards. Versus what Gabor was talking about is the outward facing, but never inward facing.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, great, thank you. Anything from your side?
I don't know. It feels like a distant kind of concept, and I feel like there's some aspects of kindness that come naturally, and then there's some that I've been very alienated from because human beings have not always felt safe. So part of being able to get in touch with a sense of genuine kindness that's internal and external has to do with like restoring like not just a sense of safety, but like a sense of confidence that I can handle difficult people or people who don't feel safe, because that's true. Like, not everybody is safe, and I want to have good instincts around that too, and I want confidence that I know how to handle that. So part of becoming more kind is also learning that more people are safe than I'm giving credit to. Like, my system is primed to think that people are not safe when in fact they are. And then two, that I have the skills to handle genuinely unsafe people. And those become the foundation of my ability to be kind in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what today
Yeah,
is.
that's good. Because you have like a little bit of a different relationship with that, you know. I've had a lot of examples growing up of kindness, this kind of the genuine kindness, you know. And I've had my share of not kindness, of course, but I've also had my share of kindness.
Yeah.
And in your world, perhaps you had, you know, it was more offset to not so much of the kindness, maybe, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah,
It wasn't maybe horrible all the time, but nevertheless,
there was some kindness, but it wasn't
mm-hmm.
offset by either. Yeah, there just was also a lot of other stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
But good.
Yeah, good to know. Exactly. Yeah. Cool. Ryan,
Okay, Ryan says, the first person you meet today, passing acquaintance or friend, no matter the context, positive or negative, is an opportunity for kindness. Or, as different translators have taken this line from Seneca to mean, it is an opportunity for benefit for both of you. You can seek to understand where they are coming from. You can seek to understand who they are, what they need, and what forces or impulses might be acting on them. And you can treat them well and be better off for it. The same is true with the second person you encounter and the third. Of course, there is no guarantee that they will return the favor, but that's not our concern. As always, we're going to focus on what we can control. In this case, the ability to choose to respond with kindness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the responding with kindness is to any situation. That seems very what's the word, like utopian almost. Like why and also why would one want to do that, right? Like that's.
Well, if your definition for kindness is that you start from a place of your own boundaries, then it's never really in conflict with anything.
Right. I mean, one would want to do that because one would understand that if somebody is not kind, they are acting from some sort of a trauma perspective or some sort of a place where, you know, they're maybe assuming a bunch of stuff and, you know, it's all misunderstood. And so if we understand that, then maybe the response can be kindness, but sometimes it's just kind of very surprising, kind of like the other day with the dog thing, right? Like somebody steps on a dog or something, you know, like the dog reacts like, right? Like you can't. The second after that is like, oh, I'm sorry, I understand. No, of course, but the first reaction is hard to completely.
Your body will have knee-jerk reactions that will not be kind. And then I guess the question is how quickly, if you think about kindness through that definition of it includes me, includes everybody, then kindness is actually the most fair, just reaction to any situation. Now, of course, my human nervous system is programmed to have knee-jerk reactions to different events in the world in order to keep me safe and me alive as an organism. But how quickly then do I come back in as that judge, and am I able to reimagine the situation that I'm in to include all of the perspectives and then approach it from that place of kindness?
That's interesting, yeah. That just reminds me of like how my dad and my grandpa, their relationship was kind of like they would get into like these bickering little fights over silly stuff, but then they would get over it very quickly, like so fast that the rest of the people around them were like, wait, you were just like really kind of pissed off at each other like 10 seconds ago, and now you're like, all right, fine, kind of hug it out, right? Like, and so like I don't know if they actually then never thought about it. Maybe at the end of the day they were like, like I had a fight with my son, or my dad might say like, I had a fight with my dad, or like they might reflect on that, but they really kind of had this relationship where they got over it so quickly. And like I've always was so like almost confused of like, how is this even possible? Like, why did they fight in the first place if they know how to get over it so quickly? Like that's the whole thing of like, well, if I get upset at something, I'm gonna be upset for a day or two. Like so I'm avoiding to get upset, right? Because I know the consequences of it. I'm like, I don't want to feel like crap. Like, no, I don't want to get into fight. Like, I just better avoid it or something, right? But like that's obviously not the right thing to do. And I was like admiring this about those two that they somehow were able to super quickly get over all of their little bickerings. Yeah, such an interesting, and I wonder like what drove them to do that. I might talk to my dad about it and see if he's got some insider tricks up his sleeve about this. So, but yeah, good reminder for sure. Cool. All right. Good seeing you all.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.